Good morning. Let's take a look at some of the matches yesterday and some of the over 2.5 goal shortlisters, mostly the starred matches. So let's have a look. Brentford and Bournemouth, overs coming in. Did lay Brentford late on because this caught my attention. Don't forget when you're laying late on, liability is very, very low. But there's always a reason. We did think both teams would score, and Bournemouth had scored those 2 goals. But they did have a good away record for scoring at the back end of matches. We'll find it in the goal times table here. 5 goals scored away from home. Well worth taking on Brentford at very, very low odds. Very low liability. Scored 2 goals already. Well worth the punt. West Ham and Everton. It's either going to be goals or no goals with Sean Dyche, isn't it? So I don't think that would have been a very strong over 2.5 goal candidate trusting this lot. And this lot limping to a win against Ipswich and Man United at home. It's not all plain sailing just yet for West Ham. Brighton and Man City had to lay Brighton late on the basis that Manchester City would have an unprecedented fourth consecutive defeat, which was the case yesterday. This is all down to the Champions League, newfangled Champions League with high-profile matches far too early and in far too quick a sequence in the season. It's just knocked these big boys out of kilter, hasn't it? Liverpool continue along their merry way. No away goal for Villa. Concerning. Is this the fatigue from the Champions League for them as well? Derby and Plymouth. This was a short-priced home favourite. Got the goal before half-time. If you're into 2.5 goals, looking for a goal before half-time. 2 goals, you'd have been out already if you went over 2.5 goals. Leeds and QPR, short odds, 1.25 favourite. Again, if you backed overs, you'd be out then. We did this in the German Bundesliga, backing over 2.5 goals after 15 minutes at 0-0, getting good odds. And then when you get the single goal, you've got a good opportunity of getting a decent profit. This, I think we got out with that second goal in the first half. The red card was in play, and Mainz took advantage of the red. St. Pauli and Bayern Munich. That's our trading profit just for the single goal after 15 minutes. And this ended under 2.5 goals. So that's the advantage there. We also got the goals in a number of other Bundesliga matches before half-time. Werder Bremen, Holstein Kiel, for example. Another great play. You will make a profit just for that single goal before half-time. So it's a nice little technique. And we're working on covering that 0-0, which I think Paul's come up with a great idea, perhaps laying over 0.5 first half goals would do that trick. So we're getting somewhere with this 2.5 goals. I was thinking if there's no goal before half-time, you move into the second half and back over 1.5 goals at evens or higher. Give them less of a goal to reach. Over 1.5 goals, just 2 goals required. So the Bundesliga continuing to be a good place for goals, that's for sure. Let's get back there. Leipzig and Mönchengladbach. It's post-Champions League, pre-international football. Not really a match on the list for 2.5 goals, but the others did deliver. And more headache for Bayer Leverkusen last season, catching up with them, I think. Venezia and Parma in the live stream. I did target that draw as layable. Cagliari in Milan laying the very, very, very late draw at 1.2 or lower because it's been absolute mayhem. And this is another case of post-Champions League, pre-international break, just labouring. This was a must-win for Real Madrid, and they did. Villarreal, another over 2.5 goal match. I expected both teams to be obliging on the goals front. But yet again, you get that goal before half time. You can be out by half time. Leganes and Sevilla, well, red cards can suck the life out of a match. 80th minute, well, 79 minutes played already, so no excuses for this particular match as far as overs was concerned. That didn't oblige. It's the last day of the season in the Superettan and we've got some late action. This is a great way to play. We did take on Ågret. Helsingborg had to win with Landskrona, I think, in third place, losing. It looks academic in the end. They're losing. They're losing. All they have to do is win, and they are in the promotion playoff spot, Helsingborg. That's why you take them on. I think we did the same. We needed that Östersund equaliser against Braga. It was a must equalise, and boom. Bondi. Debbie Harry getting the late goal. 89th minute. Time pressure. We'll see that today in the Norwegian Eliteserien. Not as pressured as the Superettan because it's not the last day of the season in the Eliteserien. But we're getting to the stage where teams must start picking up points to leave them in a good position for the last day of the season. I think 3 matches remaining in the Eliteserien. This is a great technique. We used it the day before and got a couple of very late and low odds plays, which do reward you very well indeed. Dinamo Zagreb coming from behind, I mentioned that in the live stream. Another struggler post European club competition, pre-international break. Something has to give. Birmingham and Northampton, just based on these short odds for Brum. You could have taken that draw on second half. Lisa Stansfield, she's been around the world, got a goal for Brum, 58th minute. That could have been enough. The favourite scored. If you lay the draw, favourite scores, going to get a good odds. Good call in the live stream. This I showed you in the live stream was a perfect example of what you're looking for an underdog leading. You've got really good stats from Huddersfield in reaction to the goal. You can tell the one-way traffic element started getting busier second half. 4 shots on, 2 off. Thoroughly deserved that 2-2. So sometimes attending the live stream, you'll just get these added shouts, right? Put them forward to you, and I hope you take action on. League 2, these were all the odds on favourites there yesterday. Not necessarily guaranteed over 2.5 goals, but that's how I play these lower tiers. I focus mostly on odds on favourites. And you'll have been alerted to a couple there yesterday, the 0-0 for Birmingham and the fact that this Huddersfield side were a goal down at half-time. 2-1 down as well. Crawley eminently gettable in both of these based on the in-play stats. And the other odds on you got alerted to, it's a 0-0 in an odds on favourite match at half-time. So that gives you an angle in for the second half. Simple as that. Again, that could have been backing over 1.5 goals at evens or higher, getting out with the first goal before the 70th minute. Nice and simple. We chose the wrong Bundesliga 2 match to lay the very, very late draw. Chose the Magdeburg-Ulm match because there was a late red card for Ulm. Should have chosen the FC Köln match. Very short price favourite, 1.33. Downs, 94th minute. Could have cleaned up there, what a pity. Eliteserien, we're getting to about 3 matches left in the season in Norway. It is still a crucial period because it's moving day, like they say in the golf. Just checking with the 27s how many matches are remaining. 3 matches remain for the 27s. 2 matches remain for those playing 28. So have to do your maths. Can Brand be caught? Yes, they can, still. 2 matches remaining, 3 for this lot, 3 for this lot. So still pressure at the top for Brann. They can't let loose just yet. Bodo Glimt and Viking must start winning with only 3 matches remaining. Mulder, in order to have a shot at Europe, must start picking up points. 3 matches remaining. Rosenborg still in with a shout as well. Fredrikstad mathematically so, but losing touch points-wise. Must win for Fred in order to keep tabs on the top 3. Otherwise, mathematically, not possible. 6-point gap, 9 points remain to third. Got to get your Carol Vorderman maths head on at the end of the season. Odd can still survive, but they must win. 3 matches remain. 2 remain for Lillestrøm in an awful position. Must start winning. 2 matches remaining. They'll probably be aiming for this relegation playoff place here in 14th. That's their aim, these 2. So must wins for all of the bottom 3, and indeed those within striking distance of Haugesund. So you're heading all the way up here with 3 matches remaining. So still a busy Eliteserien. You can see how important points will be today. So these matches are going to be played with blood and thunder. You can see, but must win now for both of these 2. More so for Bodo. Keep that European place. Must win for Mulder outside the European places. So we can see it's going to build up nicely from 4 o'clock today. Similar, well, the Obosligan ended yesterday. And again, you're looking at motivation. Mjøndalen had to hold on to this win. Levanger, I think, had to get something against Asane. We did lay the late draw here because Levanger had to win. If Levanger won, they would have been in the relegation playoff place. You lay the late draw with all of that pressure, and it's not Levanger who got the goal. It was Stelovic, but it's that pressure. They must win. They're going to give it their all. Might be get caught on the break. Asani had nothing to play for, but it's the very fact that that draw was vulnerable. Stabæk and Arlesund, one-way traffic, but you still take on Arlesund at short odds because needs must for Stabæk. If they get a win, they'll break into the top 6. So regardless of the scoreline for Arlesund, who've got nothing to play for, you've got to take on Arlesund and hope for a miracle. After all, Stabæk odds on pre-match, but in a whole heap of trouble, even at half-time. But we had to take them on at this stage of the season. The time pressure, that's what we're playing with, and that can really produce some big profits for you. So watch out for that. All in all, yesterday it was mostly a speculative day. Found it very difficult to find any strong plays, but there were some good calls in the live stream. Looking on to today, newly promoted Beerschot already stands out as gettable today, away at Club Brugge. Man United might land a blow today under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Tottenham Hotspur up against Ipswich. That looks like banker material for the Spuds. Really good when they get going, and they've got a hell of a bench to come off, particularly attack-wise. Due deference to Nottingham Forest now that a Champions League bound Newcastle recently are not even favourite. A brilliant season for Nuno Espirito de Santo and the spirited Nottingham Forest defence. They're going to be a tough nut to crack. Geordie's away, not having a good time of it. Lost to Fulham and Chelsea. Notable that those are 2 London sides. Don't know if that's bearing any significance. But a 0-0 against a defensively led Everton. You're going to expect trouble against a Nottingham Forest. Well, if they do concede, they're straight back in. Well, those are head-to-head, sorry. Let's look at Forest at home.
This market is now in play.
Tight. Not going to concede that second goal. But this is a reminder for Newcastle that did get the win in the EFL Cup, albeit much changed sides. Tough match to trust Newcastle to even score. London Derby, and a chance for Arsenal to get 3 points after Man City have dropped 3 points. But Arsenal are going through a rough patch as well. As I say, it's down purely to this Champions League. In seasons past, you won't be playing these massive high-profile matches so early, so impactful so early as well in this competition. Massive matches. Don't normally see them until the new year. But 2 consecutive 1-0 defeats. Chelsea have more than 1 goal in them at their very best. It's a London derby, anything can happen. Probably not a match I will trade. United and Wednesday, another derby style match. It's going to be a defence against attack, this one. Sheffield United ordinarily keep it very tight indeed. French League 1. Le Havre can be gettable at home. Lyon against newly promoted Saint-Etienne. That looks an obvious play for me, unless they're going to be impacted post-Europe pre-international break. German Bundesliga continues its over 2.5 goal slant. I would suggest Champions League bound Stuttgart and European bound Frankfurt meet. 1.91 the favourite. And Heidenheim, Wolfsburg 2.4 the favourite. Tough nut to crack, that one. Don't like the coupon. Atalanta been in excellent form of late. Playing the draw specialists Udinese. I think Atalanta have turned the page, as Kamala Harris would say. And they're doing a lot better than Kamala Harris. They're actually winning. And winning emphatically at home. That's 13 goals in the last 3 home matches in Serie A. Celtic, good result for Celtic, you must say, in taking a point off Atalanta. Looking at Udinese away, they're on a run of 3 consecutive defeats, conceding heavily, and that will be galling against newly promoted Venezia. So I think there's defensive woes for Udinese. That looks one to follow at 11:30. Certainly catching the eye. Roma and Bologna, no strong opinion there. Fiorentina have been in wonderful form. We did trust them to continue the winning ways midweek, but something had to give. They're playing underpants United. Verona, very strange. Have a pair of undies as your logo, but there we go. A real solid winning performance for Fiorentina. Had them one of the best sides in Europe. Had to end against Apoel. We did cover the insurance, so no great harm done. But what a pity for Fiorentina. Could return to winning ways today. They're playing the right team. Certainly on the watch list based on that recent form. Lazio have really caught my eye this season. I've really found some confidence, I think, in trusting them. Even pre and post European club competition, they have tended to deliver. You can see here against Cagliari. Potential tough pre-Europa League match, but easy as you like. Coming from behind, I believe, as well there. Good result. Coming from behind it again, I think, against Como. I'm not sure. No, they were emphatic. That was really big odds for Lazio against Como. Against Cagliari, these are the kind of sides we like. Ultra reliable. They have had a come from behind. I'm not sure who it was against, but really good form, as you can see in front of your own eyes. Just Juventus beating them of late.
This
Lazio.
market has been suspended.
So a bit like Fiorentina, get them while they're hot. This is a derby-style match. Inter Milan and Napoli. You saw that 1-0 win for Inter. Could be again. This is Antonio Conte's Napoli. They did have a torrid time, though, against Atalanta last week. Maybe it's just a season too early for any great impact from Conte. I would be expecting Inter to keep Napoli quiet, but Napoli could equally, under Conte, keep Inter quiet. Eredivisie, renowned for over 2.5 goals. Derby-style match, this one, 20 on Ajax, so keep an eye on the in-play stats. Both teams would be eyeing the win. Feyenoord looked very strong today. and AZ Alkmaar against Willem II. Looks a good goal, good league for goals. Other leagues as well today. I'll be on hand for you, probably a 2 p.m. start for the last live stream until the international break ends on the 22nd of November. So come along, it's a free to view live stream today. Hopefully we'll get some more comfortable trades. Yesterday's were very speculative, but a lot of good calls on the live stream. Hope you can make it 2 p.m. onwards. I'll be on hand for that early 11:30 kickoff. I think that's got some legs to it. Have a great day.